welcome to another episode of Talking to Myself. I'm your host, Jake Letizia, and this is the podcast where I look into a camera and I talk to myself. How's it going? How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. I hope it was a nice time. I hope you had a good time. I hope your family wasn't too insufferable. I hope, in fact, that they were a joy to be around, if you could be around them. If you didn't have Omicron, or if you did, maybe you quarantined with your entire extended family. I don't know your life. Maybe you guys all got there early and you all discovered you had COVID at the same time, so you all decided to lock down together for a week. Maybe you're having a week of Christmas right now. I don't know, but if that's the case, I hope it's fun. I hope you aren't going, ooh, I'm in quarantine with all of my uncles and some of them fucking suck. Get me out of here. I hope that's not happening, dude. I hope you're not like, well, that's the uncle who did that thing to me. I didn't even want to see him for 2 seconds. Now I got to see him for a week. Fuck this. Hope that's not the case. Hope you're like, that's the uncle who always gave me good presents. I'm psyched he's here, dude. Let me have a conversation with him. Let me find out a memory that I didn't know he had. Let's do that. Let's unlock the hidden secrets of our family I didn't know existed because we have Omicron and we're forced to have conversations now. Maybe that's what's happening. Maybe you're having a cute quarantine Christmas. Maybe that's what's happening. If it is, yes. Or maybe you're just stuck at home and you're happy about that, dude. My brother, we got COVID, and I know him well enough to be skeptical that he even got COVID. Knowing him, he might have just been like, a lot of people are getting Omicron. Why can't I? They're not going to ask for my test results. I don't want to get on the train. This might be sick just to spend Christmas with my fiance and my doggy. And you know what? If he did fake it, good for him, dude. Listen, you got to have your holiday be a good day no matter what. Because in life, we have created these weird fucking moments where we all get to hang out and chill. And if you don't want to do that with certain people, you shouldn't do it. I was thinking about Christmas this year of like, isn't it? And I guess it's based on religion. But again, Christmas is so beyond religion at this point. Because even if you don't celebrate Christmas in a religious capacity, like you end up celebrating Christmas with somebody for some reason. I have a friend who does not celebrate Christmas at all, and yet he still is asked, are you going to get your girlfriend a present for Christmas? And he's like, fuck. And then the person who asked him acted like it was crazy that he didn't already have a present. And he was like, well, I don't think about Christmas, so why would I have a present? And I agree with him, dude. If you don't celebrate a holiday, I don't think it's that crazy that you forget to get gifts for a holiday that did not exist to you until you started kissing and fornicating with somebody, you know? Sex doesn't improve your memory. People think it does. It doesn't. If anything, it detracts from it. If anything, you come so hard you forget important details of your life. If the sex is good, if you have good sex, you will forget significant memories from your childhood after you come. That's what happens. You go, wait, what was my 8th birthday like? You're like, yeah, that's good. Oh, that's so good. Wait, what was my 7th grade best friend's name? That's what happens, dude. Wait a second. What year is it? That's what happens. If you come hard enough to forget the month and year that you're living in, that's a good relationship. So obviously it would follow that if you don't celebrate Christmas and you're nutting, it's going to be difficult for you to remember getting a present for somebody. And at that point, you say to your partner, go, it's your fault, dude. Don't make me nut. It's your fault I don't have a present for you. You are fucking me so good that I have little to no memory left. Okay? If you want me to fucking have some cobwebs stuck in there, you better leave me alone. You better not be so good to me sexually, okay? I don't even know what I'm saying. None of that made sense. None of that made sense, but it was fun to say. Anyway, that's pretty much this podcast. None of it makes sense, but it's fun to say. So, yeah. Christmas gifts. Enjoy your holiday is what I'm saying. Dude, the Xbox, enjoy your holiday. That's all I'm saying. Don't feel the pressure of having to be with your family, especially if you don't like your family. I think I like my family enough to see them on the holidays. Oh, and what I was saying was it's interesting, like Christmas is, whether you like it or not, if you live in America, whether you believe in Christmas or not, Christmas is your day off. Like work-wise, we say happy holidays and all that shit, but a lot of the time off is centered around Christmas. And we can get into that whether or not that's fucked up and whatnot, but like for this moment, that's what it is. It's Christmas is an American holiday. So giving the fact that that's what it is, everybody celebrates it in some form of another, even if it's just you not working that day. Like everybody, has some time to themselves because of that holiday. And so because of that, it goes beyond religion. It just goes into the very human thing of like, oh, you need time off. This is something that we can all agree on where you can have it off. So because that's what it really is, because it's not actually the fucking Santa Claus, it's not Jesus, it's just a time for people who live in this country to chill the fuck out, because that's what it really is. You should chill the fuck out in any way you see fit. So don't see your family if you don't want to see your family. And like, don't feel an obligation to anybody you don't like. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand people on the holidays feeling obligations to people they don't like. Getting presents for people who won't get presents for them, Getting presents for people who will go, I didn't really want this. Don't get that guy presents. Don't get that girl presents. If you're getting a present for someone every year who never appreciates it once, take 1 year off, watch them get annoyed that you didn't get them a present, and then never get them a present ever again. It'll bother them for the first year. The second year, you'll be like, yeah, I still didn't get you one. And they'll be like, whatever. That's it. I don't get the presents every year thing. If you get somebody a present every once in a while, they're much more excited every time they get a present. That's how my family operates. Last year I got people presents. This year I got them nothing. And they didn't get me anything. And that's all good. Okay? I got socks for Christmas. I was psyched about it. I just threw out a bunch of pairs with holes in it because I hold on to things for too long. I hold on to things for too long. I hold on to pants for too long. Every pair of pants that I have should have been gotten rid of 3 years ago. But I haven't done it yet, dude. First are the socks, then I'll go to the pants. There's a thing in my brain that's like, once you buy something, you need to keep it forever. You need to keep it until it literally is impossible to wear. Literally, when you put it on, people are like, ew, dude. That's what you have to wear it until. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's OCD, whatever the fuck. I'm very OCD light, though. It comes from my father. My dad was checking the doorknob today. He was like making sure it was locked, and he was going like 10 times, like pulling it. Like making sure that the door wouldn't open like 5 times by pulling at the door. And then he left. And I thought to myself, that's insane what he just did. Like the amount of times he banged up the door to make sure it was locked is insane. But at the same time, when I realized how insane that was, I felt sympathy for my roommate who has made a comment of like, yo, you checked the door like a psycho. And I was like, well, that's why. That psychosis has been passed down to me. And I also OCD checked the fucking door. I've OCD kissed people. I don't know if I've said that on here. I think I might have. But I've OCD kissed people. And OCD will make you pretty romantic, man, because you'll be in a situation where you're kissing someone goodbye and you have to keep kissing them goodbye, and the person will think it's you being like, oh, you're so cute, I like you so much that I have to keep pulling you in for another kiss. I can't stop kissing you. They don't know it's a fundamental defect in my brain that won't let me stop kissing them. They're like, whoa, this guy likes me, he's romantic as shit, but really my brain is broken. Really, I would love to stop kissing you, but something is detached and it won't let me. If I stop kissing you now, my family will die. And that's not even it, because I don't know, maybe OCD is more specific for certain people, but I always hear like, oh, I have to do this or I'll die. But for me, it's never been that. It's like, I just have to do this. And there's no quantifiable reason. Whenever I have OCD to touch something or to do something at a certain amount of times, it's just like, I have to do this. I have to do it or something. It's not anything specific. It's just, I have to do this or something bad. Something not what I want. Not even bad, just something not, the things I want won't happen if I don't touch this doorknob in every corner of it. Even though it has no corners, it's a round thing, but I know what I'm thinking in my brain, so let me rub my hand against it 2 times. I need to touch the corner of that table when I leave the room. Why? I don't know, but I need to. That's what it is for me. I don't know, but I need to. With the kissing too, I don't know. I don't have it when I have sex for some reason. Don't have OCD when I have sex. But it's when someone's leaving. It's a lot of leaving. I don't know why. A lot of times it strikes when I'm leaving a place or I'm leaving a person. Yes, I'll kiss someone like 5 times and then pull them in and have to kiss them like 5 more times. And they're always like, oh my God. One time I was making out with somebody and then I walked away and then I ran back and then they walked away too. And I ran back and I turned them around and started kissing them again. And they thought, wow, he's being very cute and romantic. And I really was running back being like, fuck, I gotta do it again. My brain. Something bad. Let's make out right now. But it's not all the time. Sometimes I am being romantic, but sometimes my brain is rotting. You know, it's one or the other, or sometimes both. You know, you can combine the two. You can be romantic while trying to fucking make sure, you know, you feel okay mentally. You can do both. Get you a man that does both, dude. You've seen that meme. Get you a man who kisses you out of OCD and because he's being wildly romantic and likes you a lot. Get you a man who does both, dude. Although you don't need the OCD one. It's not a requirement. You could just have someone who's romantic without the OCD. But if OCD drives me to seem more romantic, is it such a bad thing to have? You know? I don't know what came first, that romantic thing or the OCD. I kind of think that my OCD made me do that a couple times in my first relationships. And then I realized, oh, this is also, the person seems to like when I do this. So then I started doing it even when I didn't have the OCD to. You know? So maybe OCD is not the worst thing. But the locking the door thing, I gotta calm down. It sounds like I'm trying to break the fucking doorknob. And also, with my apartment, I might break the doorknob. The fucking doorknob is so goddamn loose on that door at all times, it's insane. It's insane. But yeah. Anyway, I got this Xbox Series S. It's so fucking tiny, man. It's so tiny, and I had it at my apartment, and then I brought it to my parents' place to, you know, play some video games on after Christmas, you know, because you're here for Christmas. I'm here for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. There's some gaming time that can happen Christmas Eve night. And it's so fucking tiny, which is cool, and it's good for transport. But also, it's bad because it's not very sturdy, so I've kicked it over twice. And that's not good. I've kicked it over twice, and I'm like, is this going to just shatter? Both times, nothing happened to it at all. Not even a scratch. And it slammed the ground hard. I kicked it, and it just hit the ground hard. Because I have it vertically, because I'm an asshole. I don't know why I have it vertically. I could just have it horizontal, but I have it vertically, because I'm a douche. But you know what? If I had it horizontal, I might end up fucking stepping on it. I don't know what's worse, stepping on it or kicking it over. Probably stepping on it. I'm currently the heaviest I've ever been. Sure, I'll talk about that. I'll wrap that into the Xbox discussion. I'm the heaviest I've ever been. I weighed myself yesterday. I was 190. Damn, dude, I'm a big boy. 190, and then I weighed myself at the end of the day because it was Christmas Eve, so I weighed myself before Christmas Eve dinner, or Christmas Day. It was Christmas Day. I weighed myself before Christmas Day dinner, and then I weighed myself after, and I was 8 pounds heavier. 8 pounds, dude. I had about 2 pounds of gabagool. Fuck it. I probably had about 3 pounds of gabagool. Of fucking cold cuts, salami, fucking prosciutto, ham, whatever the fuck. Cheese, anchovies, bread, mozzarella, peppers. I had about 4 pounds of that, I'm going to say. Then we had pasta. That was probably a pound. What am I, 5 pounds? I got 3 pounds left. Then I had, lamb and filet mignon. The pasta was like little pieces of pasta with veal in it. It was like veal raviolis. Then I had lamb and filet mignon with a little bit of broccoli. So 5, 6, 7. And then I had fucking 3 pieces of cake. 8 pounds, dude. 8 fucking pounds. Thankfully, when I woke up today, I was 5 pounds lighter, but still 3 pounds over. You know what I'm saying? Still 3 pounds heavier than I was yesterday, but 5 pounds lighter than what I was last night. Will those 3 pounds disappear? Who knows? Are they permanent? I don't know. What do I know? I gotta lose some fucking weight, dude. I'm probably breathing improperly in my sleep. My dad was like, do you still have sleep apnea? Because when I was a kid, I had sleep apnea, and I stopped breathing a lot in my sleep. That's what sleep apnea is. Then I got my tonsils out, and they were like, you're good to go. But I also was, 20 pounds lighter? So 20 pounds heavier, I'm probably doing that in my sleep, dude. I'm probably choking hardcore. I'll have to ask the next person I am romantic with. Hey, do I sound like I'm dying next to you? Hey, that was very fun. Do me a favor. That was very fun. Am I allowed to sleep here? Oh, of course. Yeah, you don't snore, do you? Well, here's the thing. Funny you ask. Could you make sure that I don't choke to death in my sleep? Excuse me? I don't know. See, I used to snore a lot, but then I got rid of that thing. But now, sometimes when I drink, I snore. Also, I'm 20 pounds heavier than when I didn't snore anymore. So if I stop breathing for more than 2 minutes at a time, wake me the fuck up. Stranger who we just had mediocre sex with. Stranger who we just had pretty okay sex, but we're acting like it's much better than it was. Make sure I don't die human. Thank you, person. Hey. My dad was telling people last night that he, with his sleep apnea, he wakes up 35 times every hour. That's what he was telling people. I wake up 35 times every hour. That's what the doctor said. So basically, you're just telling people I don't sleep. You might as well just say, yeah, I don't sleep anymore. I wake up 35 times in an hour. Okay, so what are you sleeping for? 7 minutes? What are you talking about? I guess if you're waking up 35 times, what, you're sleeping for 25 minutes? You're fucked, dude. Get it fixed. And then my dad kept talking about his chin and how the doctor was like, because of his chin structure, that's why he's got sleep apnea, and he needs to like get his chin, like a surgery where his chin is pulled out. I don't even fucking understand what the surgery was. And my other uncle was like not having it. He's like, your chin? What do you mean your chin? What does that mean? I don't know what doctor that is, but you better get rid of him. I'm just doing my dad's voice. I only know how to do my dad's voice Italian-wise. I can't do my uncle's. It was pretty funny, though. They got into a discussion about politics. The discussions about politics are very strange because, like, I don't know. People simultaneously don't know anything about it and do know things about it in my family. And they'll pick and choose their moments. Like, people who don't know anything about any politics will just suddenly start talking about it. And then other people will, like, fancy themselves knowing a lot about politics, but they'll just kind of shout about one thing. But one of my uncles just last night, he was... And there weren't that many people because the Omicron, there was a very light crowd. So the normal people who would argue back about politics or agree back about politics, the other people in my Italian family who believe that they know about politics were not there. It was just my dad and my two uncles. And one of my uncles, and my dad and one of the uncles they're not concerned with politics at all. They just live their life. They're chilling. Honestly, it seems like a nice time, dude. Honestly, it's an old school way, and I like it. You guys know Big Time Tommy? OS for life. That's what my two uncles are. That's what my dad and my uncle are living. They're living that OS life. No politics. My dad just watches the stock market, tries to make some money. That's it, dude. That's old school. I like it. And then the other one just cuts hair and chills, dude. He cuts people's hair and chills. That's it. People talk about Trump. He's like, I don't fucking know. I like that, dude. I admire that. I know that's not cool to a lot of younger people my age and younger. People are like, you got to stay plugged in. You have to stay connected to the issues. And I'm like, I don't disagree, but at the same time, when my dad's like, I'm like, hell yeah. When he's like, fucking who? Biden? I don't know. I'm like, damn, dude. I want to do that. I want to do the video game version of that. You watch stocks, I'll game out. We'll both not give a fuck. No, but I do know. I stay up to date. It's not that hard. You're so inundated with politics nowadays. It's not that hard. Also, I have enough friends who like pay attention to it a lot that I know when I should be listening. Also, even if you don't have friends like that, I feel like if you're living in the city, it's hard not to avoid politics, people's political opinions. I mean, go to a bar. That discussion could happen. Which is not a bad thing, but you know what I'm saying. It's a good thing to be plugged into politics, to know the issues, but you know what I'm saying when I'm like, damn, dude, it'd be nice to not know any of it. It'd be nice to, when someone says Twitter, you're like, I don't really understand how that even works. That would be nice, dude. That's the old school way, bro. Big Time Tommy, Angelo Letizia. Hell yeah, dude. That's the old school Italian lifestyle. Anyway, they were arguing about, or not arguing. One of my uncles was like, all these woke people, they cancel everything. And then my dad was like, woke? What's woke? And he goes, woke? You don't know woke? And then my other uncle, who's a barber, was like, woke? I don't know what's woke. And it's my uncle Mario. My uncle Mario, my dad, and my Uncle Joe. And my Uncle Joe and my dad don't know what the fuck Uncle Mario is talking about. And also, Uncle Mario's an out-of-towner. So he's like... Also, it's so funny because, like, what a time to come back. He hasn't been to Christmas in years because he lives in fucking the Midwest. I think he lives in, like, Arizona or some shit. But this year he decided to come back. I guess he thought like, oh, well, there's no more COVID, or the COVID's very light, because it was up until 2 weeks ago. The news was like, yo, celebrate with your family. Don't worry about any variants. You're fine. And then next thing you know, everyone's like, I'm not going to Christmas. But he's like, well, I already booked the flight, so shut the fuck up. So he usually isn't there, and now he's the only one there. And he's just shouting, you don't know woke? Woke. They cancel people. Woke. They cancel people. And then my dad's like, woke? I don't know what's woke. And he starts laughing. And then my Uncle Joe, and then Uncle Mario goes, you don't know woke? To Uncle Joe. And he's like, I don't know. What's that? He's like, woke. And then he won't look to the three young people in the room. Like it's me, my two cousins, and another cousin who's sitting on the couch who's like half participating in the conversation. But no one's like looking to us to be like he's not looking at us to be like, you know, woke. I don't know if he thinks because we're going to go against him and be like, well, yeah, woke isn't that bad. I don't know why he won't ask us, but he just is like yelling at my uncle and my dad until they understand what he's saying, which is a very Italian move. Let me just shout at you until you understand the thing you don't understand. I'm not going to explain it. I'm just going to go, woke. You know woke. You say you know woke. If you don't know woke, no what the fuck. Damn, dude, that hurt my throat. But so he just keeps saying that. He goes, Gone with the Wind. They canceled Gone with the Wind. You know Gone with the Wind? And my dad's like, yeah, I know Gone with the Wind. He goes, they canceled it. And then my Uncle Joe's like, what do you mean they canceled it? He's like, you can't watch it anymore. You can't watch it anywhere. And then my cousin was like, you can still watch Gone with the Wind on HBO Max. It just has a disclaimer. And then goes, oh, you can? Well, it's you. Woke. You know what I'm talking about? They canceled Gone with the Wind because there's some slave stuff. My cousin's like, no, yeah, I mean, you could still watch it. And he's like, oh, I thought you couldn't. Well, you guys know woke. And then he goes, oh, fuck, the timer just went off. All right, I'll finish this story in the next part. See you guys in a sec. What's up? I'm back. So he's like, woke. You know woke. You know woke? They don't know woke, but he won't stop saying it. Italian move. You know woke? And then he goes, AOC. You know AOC? And my dad's like, what? Also, no one knows. AOC, like, I don't know. Like, why does he think, if they don't know what woke is, why does he think they know what AOC? I guess they might know AOC, but he thinks he's saying AOC like AOC is going to trigger woke in their brain. But woke is a lost cause. Neither of them know what it means. There's no, unless you're going to explain it, and you got to explain it better than they cancel. Woke, they cancel. And they goes, AOC, you know, Cortez? You don't know Cortez? Like he sounds like fucking Tucker Carlson. Like he basically is copying the cadence of someone who hates this shit. And then my dad's like, no, I don't know. He's like, AOC, she's a big woke. Like he thought that would connect all the dots for my dad in his brain, even though my dad has no idea what the fuck he was talking about from the get-go. He's like, do you know woke? My dad's like, I don't know woke. And he goes, AOC, you know AOC. My dad's like, I do not know AOC. He goes, Cortez. My dad's like, saying the C part does not make me know the A and the O part or who this person is. And then goes, AOC, she's a big woke. She's a big fat woke. She's the biggest of the wokes. She's a big fat woke. She's a folk. My dad's like, yeah, I don't know, man. And then at that point, my uncle just kind of collapsed on himself. Like mentally, like he just like stopped altogether. And he was like, oh, all right. I guess you guys aren't as into politics as I am. And my dad was like, yeah, I didn't know you were so into politics. Like, I had no idea that you were that into this stuff. And he goes, well, I didn't used to be. I used to watch sports I used to just watch sports all the time. But now all I watch is Newsmax and Fox. I don't even really know why. And then he just was silent. I don't even really know why. And then he just stared at the table. And then like a minute went by, and then he was like, you know, the thing I don't get with these people who cancel, why do they let them cancel things? Why do they let them do it? Like, who are they to cancel things? Who are they to cancel people? And I was like, who are they, dude? You don't even know who they are. Like, what are you talking about? Who's they, dude? Who are they to cancel? They're not, it's nobody. This is like, everyone's just, who are they to cancel? And it's one of those things where, like, I don't agree with what he's saying, but I agree with what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? I also get annoyed sometimes being like, who are these people? Because a lot of people try and cancel things for stupid shit. A lot of people are like, you know, there are some times when something happens where you're like, oh, maybe we could talk about this. And there are a lot of times when things happen where you're like, this is not even a discussion. You just want something to say today. That happens a lot on Twitter. On the internet. It happens a lot where people are like, this is the reason why actually this movie's the most racist thing and problematic thing you've ever seen. And if you saw it, fuck you. You know? You see a lot of those, and a lot of them are bullshit. But sometimes something happens and you're like, oh, that is fucked. You know? If Gone with the Wind has a disclaimer, I don't think it's that crazy. Although you do wonder, like, with stuff like that, like, who is the disclaimer for? Is it for kids? Like, who is it for? Is it for parents? Really what that is for a person who doesn't want to talk to their kids. That's what really all disclaimers are for. It's because we know there are parents who fucking suck. Who suck and neglect their children. Disclaimers exist because we don't feel it's morally right to tell someone they can't have a kid. So knowing that, we know that certain people should never have kids, but if they're going to go ahead and have one, someone needs to put something in place so that their kid can learn something. Right? You would expect someone, if they were going to show their kid Gone with the Wind, they would explain like, oh, this is a musical. This is not actually how things were in that time. You know? You might have them watch the movie, then sit them down and talk about it, or do it beforehand. Who knows? You might give them a little bit of a history lesson, you know? Fill the gaps in of their brain, you know? But not every parent's going to do that, so you got to account for those people and just have like some little kid be like, wait a second, slaves? What? Well, I guess the musical's starting. But anyway, yeah, but it's an interesting thing because when he broke down and was like sitting there like staring at the table, like, the thing that fascinated me was him going, I used to watch sports all the time. Now I just watch Newsmax and Fox. I don't even really know why. That was fascinating to me because I feel like that is so much, that moment he experienced is so much of all of American discourse. Maybe I live here, so I know what the discourse is here at least. So I can comment on that. And that's what I feel like American political discourse is. It's a bunch of people shouting aggressively until someone really doesn't know, understand, or care about what they're talking about enough where they can pull themselves out of what they're angry about and really look at it and go, yeah, I don't even know why I give a fuck about this. I feel like the majority of people are shouting about things that if they thought about it for 2 seconds, they'd realize, like, I don't even know why. I don't even actually care about this, and I don't even know how I started caring about it. Like, he was just so impassioned and so aggressive, and now all of a sudden he's like, I don't even know why I started watching the things that are making me say these things. Isn't that insane? But I think it's very human. I think a lot of people, that's them. They get home from work, they start drinking, they watch They turn on the TV, Fox News is on, they start watching it. Everything the person says, like the whole CNN and Fox, the whole point of it is to get you riled the fuck up. The whole point of it is to get you in that scenario where you're screaming woke at somebody. You know? CNN wants you to scream fascist, and then Fox wants you to scream woke, but you're still left with that empty feeling at the end of the screaming where you're like, I don't even really know what I believe. I used to watch baseball. What happened to baseball? And when that happened, I was like, damn, maybe he'll stop. And then he shifted right back into it. Who are these? Who's they? Yeah, who is they? If I feel like the news you're watching is not being specific enough. Because I know who they is. They is still nebulous, but I know when they is bullshit and when they is not bullshit. Well, they is, I mean, they in terms of like they want to cancel things, like that is, you know, or they're trying to do this, they're trying to take our jobs, they're trying to kill us, they're trying to murder everybody of, you know, they're trying to commit a genocide, whatever. The they is often so nebulous and it's indescript for a reason. If a lot of times if there was a real threat for something, the person would be more specific when describing it. You know? A real threat is more tangible than just going, they! Does that make any fucking sense? I don't even know if I'm making any sense. Anyway, this is a comedy podcast. But I thought it was fascinating. And if you find yourself in that moment, go watch baseball. That's what I'm saying. My Uncle Mario, go watch baseball, dude. In that moment, when you realize that, I used to just watch sports. I don't even know why I'm watching this other shit. Just in your brain go, I remember Derek Jeter. That's what probably happened. Derek Jeter stopped and he was like, well, how long am I going to watch baseball for? Jeter's gone now too? Fuck it. And then he was like, well, what's on the other channel? Who's this guy, Sean Hannity? Tucker Carl, what? This guy's got a sweet bow tie on. Let me watch this for a little bit. Damn, dude. I'm as confused as him a lot of the time. Damn. I think Tucker Carlson does that confused face because that is the face that a lot of people experience in life. Even me, dude. I don't agree with what that guy says a lot, but that confused look he does, I do that to people a lot. I identify with people who make that face because I have that face often. So I get why he does that. Not only does it make it seem like the person who's saying things to him, what they're saying doesn't make any sense, but also it's a universal experience to have that face on your face and look at somebody going, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And nowadays, I feel like it happens so often. You know, I don't agree with the man, but his techniques are pretty impeccable. His techniques are flawless. I mean, there's a reason why he's doing so well is because he knows what he's doing. I just don't like the message. I don't know. Why am I talking about political shit? Who gives a fuck? I got to do that. I got to retain the old school way, bro. I got to be old school as fuck. I got to channel my father and Big Time Tommy. I just got to watch those stocks. Tommy's not watching the stocks. He's frying up tuna steaks. My dad's watching the stocks. Dude, I was on the train the other day. My brother was talking about claustrophobia, and I told you guys briefly about claustrophobia and how I have it a little bit. How this was on an older podcast. I talked about a maze that was at a science fair that was pitch black and you had to crawl through it, and I didn't want to do it. And people were like, come on, just do it. Don't be a baby. And then years later, they found out that some pedophile was chilling inside of it and just like waiting till kids groped him. So, checkmate, I was correct. Fuck you. But, I was telling my brother about that during the holiday, and I was thinking about because he was talking about how he gets claustrophobic, and I was like, when's the last time I did? And it was a couple of days ago. I was very claustrophobic, and I couldn't tell if I was claustrophobic or just severely irritated. I mean, I'm sure it was a little bit of both. I hadn't been back to my apartment in days because I met somebody and was with them. And so I hadn't been to my apartment in days, and I finally was going back to my apartment. I was excited to get the fuck home. And I get on the subway, and the first thing that happens is this old man. Every time I sit in the two-seater, on the subway there's a bunch of seats, and there's the two-seaters that are next to the door that leads you into another car. And every time I sit in the two-seaters recently, people sit right fucking next to me. And I do not know why. I mean, those seats do say that they're reserved for people who need it. And I don't know if I need it. But, you know, both times. But also both, I mean, this one time, I guess the guy seemed like he needed it. He was an older man. He was in his 50s or 60s. So, you know, maybe I should have just gotten up and let him and somebody else sit down. But I didn't, because I was tired and I was sitting, and maybe I'm an asshole for that, but it is what it is. That's what happened. And maybe this is just karma, what's about to happen next. But what happened next was this old man sat down next to me, and he starts playing solitaire on his phone with the fucking volume fully on. And he's playing, and I just hear whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Just keep hearing that. And as the train's going, you know, it's fine. But then the train stops. The train stops, and there's a good amount of people on it, and it's Omicron, and I want to go home. And the train has stopped for fucking 10 minutes. At least 10 minutes. And for every minute that it stopped, the whoosh, 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 every time I hear I want to fucking slam his head into the wall. I'm getting so fucking annoyed. Just turn your volume off. Why? This is the most old man thing to do. And then he wins, and some music plays like all these fucking sound effects because he wins. And it forms into like, hey, now play solitaire on this winning screen. And instead of playing on the winning screen, he closes the solitaire app and then opens a separate solitaire app and starts playing another game. And all of a sudden, again, I hear whoosh, 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 whoosh. And I want so badly to take the phone and slam it into the wall. Also, why do you have two solitaire apps? Do you not? Is he that old? He's so old. He doesn't know how to start a new game. He has to have another app. He knows how to download another solitaire app and play a new game on that faster than he knows how to click new game on the other app. That's some old man shit. That's the most old man shit you could possibly do. Is I don't know how to figure out this simpler step, so I'm going to do 9 more steps that are more complicated because I know how to do those at least. I have versions of that I do that I'm like, damn, one day this will be a problem. It's fine now. I'm young enough now where other people are in my age bracket who are like, yeah, that I do the same thing. But I'm going to get to a certain age where everyone below me is like, are you just hit new game, you stupid fuck? Anyway, so the train has stopped for like 20 minutes, and I'm starting to look around, and I'm starting to think to myself, what if we never get off? What if this train never moves? What the fuck are we going to do? And then finally it does move, and I'm like, thank God, and I can breathe again. But I started to feel like I couldn't breathe, and I started to really feel like I was going to, that a child molester was waiting for me to touch him in the pitch dark. That's really how I felt. Also, dude, is there a better way to like embody claustrophobia than what that guy did. Like that is what claustrophobia is. If you describe claustrophobia as that, I'd be like, yeah, man, I agree. I feel that sometimes. If you were like, well, claustrophobia to me feels like you're in a dark room and somewhere in the room there's a pedophile that you can't see and he's just waiting for you to touch him and you don't want to touch him. You're like, yeah, dude, that is what, yeah. And the walls are closing in and he's getting closer and closer and you're freaking the fuck out. Yeah, man, that's what it feels like. Maybe he thought it was just embodying the museum even more. Maybe he's like, hey, this is wrong and illegal, but I will embody claustrophobia and really have people understand the pain of it even more. No, he wasn't doing that. He was just a piece of shit, gross pedophile, dude. That's what he was. He was just a pervy piece of shit, dude. Anyway, I'm all over the place. It's probably hard to even know what the fuck I'm talking about. All I'm saying is claustrophobia fucking sucks and you should watch out, dude. And also, if you're an old man, turn your volume off. Turn it off, dude. Why do you need to hear that? Do you need to hear that because your seeing is so blurred that you don't know if you're actually hitting the cards? But when you see the blurred vision of the card and hear the, you're like, oh no, the 7. I hit the 7. No. The reason why he's got the volume on is because he's an old man and he doesn't realize what the fuck's happening. Maybe he's deaf. I don't even know. Maybe he's like super hard of hearing and to him, the volume's super low. Who knows, dude? I'm making excuses for this old man, though. I don't want to be too much of a dick to him, but at the same time, he was annoying the fuck out of me. I think it's because I feel bad that I sat in that spot. Every time I sit in those 2-seaters, I'm like annoyed that people sit next to me, but I'm also like, this literally says on the wall, reserved for older people, like reserved for people who need to sit, and I don't need to sit. So so at the end of the day, if God exists, he was doing a little bit of karma towards me, I think, and that's okay. At the end of the day, I hated this old man and didn't want his volume on, but it feels like it's kind of my fault. I did disobey the rules. I don't know. I really do have... It's a problem. I assume the worst from old people, and I shouldn't do that. I saw The Matrix. I think I mentioned it briefly. And I went and saw The Matrix, and there was this old man who had his popcorn in my seat, and the seats were open enough where I was like, all right, well, I'll have that seat in between us. I'll sit in the wrong seat and have that seat in between us, and if people come in, then I'll have to ask him to sit in my correct seat. But I know this movie's going to fill out. It's the fucking Matrix. The day it was coming out at noon, I was like, this movie's going to fill up. And so I start getting more and more nervous as people are coming in. The anxiety in me is rising. I'm like, God damn it, dude. Am I going to have to take my seat? Am I not going to have to take my seat? Is somebody going to be like, you got to move? I don't want to deal with that. What the fuck? Please have no one come. Please have no one come. Please. Like, that's what I went. I resorted to please have no one come instead of just telling the old man to move his popcorn. Because also at the same time, like I said, Omicron, COVID. Like, if you can help it, you want to sit a seat apart. You know? And you don't know what the open seats are because the way fucking shit is now, you got to reserve seats everywhere. Why is that the case? Is that I don't know if that's the case in the suburbs. I haven't seen a movie in a while in my hometown, but I don't like how the city is all reserved fucking seats. I don't like it. I've talked about this before on the podcast. I'll say it again. I miss when you were rewarded by showing up early. I miss that. And you are not rewarded for shit anymore. Now you are rewarded for showing up 15 minutes fucking late and ruining the beginning of a movie for people. Assigned seats breeds fucking rudeness, dude. Let's call it. I want to say insecurity is the word in my head, but that's not the fucking word. Insincerity. What is it? Rude. Just rudeness. Just rude shittiness. That's what it inspires in people because you can get away with it because you bought that seat. So if you show up late, you still bought that seat and you can sit in it. Anyway, what happened was people came over and he's like, and this guy was like, oh, I think like, that's my seat. And then I immediately got up and said to the guy next to me with the popcorn, hey, that's my seat. And then he moved the popcorn immediately. Wasn't rude at all. Moved the popcorn immediately. But at the same time, I hated him. For no reason, I hated him, and I thought that he hated me. Like, I thought he kept looking at me like, fuck this kid, fuck this kid. Every time I meet an old person, I assume they are looking at me like, fuck you. Maybe it's because when I see kids, I look at them most of the time like, fuck you. Not all the time. That's not true. When I see young kids, I'm like, oh, that's cute. They don't understand life yet. When I see a teenager, I'm like, wow, you're as much of a piece of shit as I used to be. And sometimes that's charming, and I smile. And other times I'm like, fuck this kid. And then I guess sometimes I see people that age who are like the pieces of shit I didn't like at that age, so I really don't like them. So I guess it's a toss up. It's a big toss up. But for whatever reason, I assume old people are hating me at all times. So the movie happens. It's all right. It's pretty good. I don't know. The Matrix is okay. I'll talk about it another time once it didn't just come out. I don't like talking about a movie when it just comes out. And the credits are rolling. I look up, is there an end credit scene? And there is, and it's not worth seeing. If you see The Matrix in theaters, just leave. Go watch the end credit scene on HBO Max if you really have to. It's basically a fucking alternate take of a scene that does not matter for a joke that is not that funny. And it's fine for that to be the end credit scene. I just needed to see it. I was like, I'm at this theater. I waited for both of them in Spider-Man twice. I'll wait for the Matrix one. Even though the article said it's not important at all, I was like, I'm here. I'll wait. So most of the credits go by, and this old man is just sitting next to me the whole time. And I'm thinking to myself, he's like annoyed at me. Maybe he's trying to leave. He doesn't know how to leave. And then all of a sudden he just turns to me and he goes, great movie, huh? Like with the most excited voice of all time. And I look at him, I go, yeah, it was great. And he goes, oh yeah, really wonderful, incredible stuff. What an amazing film. And then he gets up and like gets his stuff together. And then he is like, oh, excuse me. And like he takes a while to get his stuff together, like really takes his time. He's very gentle about it. And then he like turns towards me. And before he even asks, which he is going to ask because he's polite, he asks, excuse me, and before he can even ask, I got up, and he was like, oh, thank you so much, sir. Have a good one. And he walks by me. And in my head, I was like, God damn it, why am I such a cunt? Why did I assume this old man was angry about the world when he really is just the sweetest dude of all time, seeing a movie by himself with a mask on, keeping to himself. When he ate the popcorn, he like put it underneath his mask but kept his mask on still. Just a gentle, nice soul. And I have to look at him and immediately assume the fucking worst. What is wrong with me, dude? Literally at the end of the movie, he made a connection with me. The whole time he felt connected to me. He felt like, this is a guy alone. I'm alone. We're seeing this movie and we're having a good time. So much so that I'm gonna bring up how good the movie is to him at the end. And meanwhile, I'm sitting there thinking like, this guy fucking hates me. This guy wants me dead. He hates my generation. And the reality is, he's like, no, you're my grandson for this film. We're not blood related at all, but for this 2.5-hour experience, you're adopted. Anyway, I guess what that taught me was calm down, be more optimistic. Not every old man is the one playing solitaire loudly, you know? And even that guy might have been a nice guy. I don't fucking know. I really do assume the worst in people. When I meet somebody, I'm often just like, all right, how are you gonna try and fuck with me? In my brain, people are guilty until proven innocent, for the most part. And not guilty of any crime, just guilty of being an asshole. Everyone I meet, automatically, I'm like, you could be an asshole. You might be an asshole. For all I know, you are currently an asshole, and everything you say to me will hopefully prove the opposite. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Because I'm technically giving people the benefit of the doubt, but it's like the benefit of the assumption, I guess. I am assuming the worst, but being like, but I'm open to that not being true. Is that the benefit of the doubt? I guess so. But it's hard for someone to plead their case if they're sitting next to you in a movie where they're not supposed to talk the whole time. Like, if that guy didn't say that to me at the end, I would have assumed he was a jerk. And that's not cool, dude. So next time I see an old man, I'm going to be like, you know what? Let's see how this goes. I don't think you're bad or good. I just think you're a guy sitting next to me, and if you end up having your volume on, you might be an asshole, but if you end up saying, what a wonderful film, you might be a good guy. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm going to try to not assume people are assholes as much. That's what I'm saying. And that's it. That's it. The timer just went off. That's the podcast for this week. So, yeah. Happy holidays. Hope you had a good one. Hope you're staying safe. And, yeah. Hope you're being romantic. If if you have OCD, you know, turn it into a positive. Turn it into some romance. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Go kiss somebody who doesn't have Omicron. Have a good one. You're the best for listening. You're fucking dope. You're awesome. I love you. Yeah. I love you guys. I'll see you next week.